Hey, how you doing?
Okay, how you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I've been working a lot and keeping busy. You've been back for about 3 weeks, maybe?
Um,
Month?
yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Okay. Great. Well, it's just you and I tonight. Scott, he just had, I think, reservations in general. In particular, he was busy now, but said he's content to handle the technical end of it. And I know he'll join us for some of these. So,
you're in charge.
in charge. Geez. Okay. So the first thing I had to make sure of was that I pressed record, and I have done that already
Yeah,
because
I got a little note that said you were
good.
you were spying on.
I know, because I could have we could talk for like an hour, and then I have to press.
You had to say it all over again.
I know that happened with Scott and I once. I can't remember what it was. We were doing something and forgot to press record. Anyway, I am here. I'm Phil, and I'm here. Boy, I don't know if I can handle all this pressure of hosting. Um, I'm here with Stephen Rubio. My name is Phil Dellio, and we're doing, after a 2-month hiatus, I think, we're resuming our series of what they saw, right?
What they said, maybe it's
what
what
they
they said.
What they said.
I think that's it.
Yeah, what they said. Normally, Stephen and Phil and Scott stay home and watch movies. Tonight, Stephen and Phil stay home and watch movies. We had been doing some new ones for a while, a mix of new and old, and then we took a long and protracted detour into the world of Stanley Kubrick, and we barely got out of there. We were lost, and it was like that maze in The Shining. We were in there for 23 shows, I think.
We had to take 2 months off.
We had to take 2 months to decompose. Seinfeld thing. Anyway, we went film by film. We're back to more current films. Tonight, Stephen and I are going to look at two films that, one for sure. I think they were both conceived initially as Netflix projects, films, and at least Passing is getting a lot of screenings in actual theaters. I don't know about Malcolm and Marie. I don't remember it ever opening here, but that was a different stage of the pandemic too. So I don't know.
I feel like Malcolm and Marie that was made in Netflix threw the money at them after the fact.
Okay.
Could be wrong. It's one of these two movies. I think that's the one.
Okay. Well, I know Passing is in theaters right now, pretty close.
Yes.
So certainly both interesting films. I can't say that I loved either one. I just in general, it's weird. I think Passing is a more accomplished film, and yet in a variety of ways, I found Malcolm and Marie more interesting. But at the same time, Malcolm and Marie, as many people, it's an ordeal. You might not make it through,
Yep.
So I don't know. Do you want to begin with Passing? You okay
Sure.
with that? I think you might have to carry a little more of the conversation here. I watched it about 4 nights ago, so it's still fresh in my mind. And like I say, I liked it. It is an accomplished film, but I won't lie. It was one of those films where I was constantly pausing. Okay, how much time left? 40 minutes, 25 minutes left. It's a very low-key film, and there are a couple of parts where I was actually confused by one part at the beginning. It's a simple explanation. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Why don't you start off, and I'll bounce off what you say.
Okay. As it turns out, this has been a couple of weeks now. A group of us in my family, we watched movies together, and in more recent times, we Zoom as a discussion. So I've had a passing discussion just a couple of weeks ago, and I got it in my head. And first off, I want to say most, at least, of the people in that discussion said they were confused. They didn't know what was going on. They wanted more detailed background. Who were these people, and what brought them to the point where they were in the movie? And maybe they just wanted another half an hour. I'm not sure.
I'll tell you the one, sorry to break in, but the one specific point that confused me early on. I didn't know that. What are the two characters' names again?
Claire and
So yeah, you know what? I have the credits up too. Claire is the woman who is clearly trying to pass, who is,
yeah,
gone out of her way to look white. The
Claire
main
and
character,
Irene. They call her
so
Irene.
yeah, Irene is the main character. I didn't realize that in that opening segment, when she goes to visit Claire at her place and encounters her violently racist husband, and I'm sitting there confused, like, doesn't he know that she's black? The friend is black, that she's African American. I didn't realize that Irene was trying to pass because she was so clearly not going to such lengths to pass as her friend. So that confused me off the bat.
She was selectively passing.
Passing for a day, I read later.
Yeah, when she
Passing
went
for
to
day.
when she went to the tea place so she could get a break from the heat, she was passing.
Okay, she just wasn't. The other had so much more makeup on, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
the way they looked and stuff.
Yeah, so I just wanted to throw that in. Go back to what you were saying, Stephen.
Okay, well, the confusing angle, the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, okay, let me double back to the book.
Which was written a long time ago, 1929, I think.
Yes, Noah Larson. And it's a novella, really. It's not that long. It's about as long as the movie, which is a fairly short movie.
Short, 80 minutes,
yeah. I don't know that people who read the book would be any more confident in what was happening, because the author of the book leaves a lot of ambiguity, and Rebecca Hall, the director and writer of the movie, leaves a lot of ambiguity. Now, the people I watched with earlier didn't like that. They kind of they wanted to have their hand held. They wanted to be told more than the movie said, and I was kind of the same way. While I was watching it, I was confused too. But then I thought about the book, and I thought about the film, how it was done, and I realized that was on purpose. It wasn't just that they forgot to do something. They purposely wanted it to be kind of ambiguous. Now, why they did, you could ask them. I know that in terms of the vagaries sort of passing, like you said, sometimes Irene, you didn't know if she was passing or not. It was ambiguous, that's to say. And a lot of what happened in there was ambiguous, including, spoiler alert for anybody who's gotten this far, the end. It's like in the movie, it's hard to tell, did she jump? Was she pushed by Irene? Was she pushed by her husband?
Well, I hadn't even considered pushed by Irene. I hadn't considered that for some reason.
Well, if you look at, because I kind of like went back and checked, and Irene puts her arm out, kind of like to protect her from the husband who's lunging. Yeah. But she also puts it, you can't see my arm there. She puts it kind of backwards, where if she wanted to push, she did it the right way. I don't think she did, but it's ambiguous which of those happened. And then I went back to the book, and it's ambiguous. The book is told from the point of view of Irene. I'm forgetting now. I don't think it's first person, but she's the narrator, and she's not. You can't trust her as the unreliable narrator. She's very much so, and so at the end of the book, she's thinking, "Did I do that?" She didn't say she did it. She didn't think she did it. She didn't remember doing it, but she wondered if she did it. So there's that ambiguity. The main difference, I'd say, and this is true for the whole movie, is that while she's the main character in the movie, it's not told from her point of view. So the idea of the unreliable narrator doesn't really enter in, as far as I could tell, because there's more of an omniscient sense of what we do. Whereas in the book, you learn pretty early on that you can't trust her telling of the story. Not that she's a bad person, but like all of us, she's telling her version, and that's more clear to me in the book than in the movie.
I like the fact that it wasn't heavy-handed. It's a kind of film where you see the title, you say, okay, passing. African-American passing for white. I feel like I've seen the film already. You think it's going to be one incident after another, right?
Mhm.
Sort of like, I guess, that famous book, Black Like Me, which was,
Yes,
Black Like Me was a white author,
journalist. Yeah.
journalist who went undercover as a black person, right? I read it
Mhm.
ages ago in high school or something. So I thought it was going to be like that, just episodic, one incident, confrontation after another. It wasn't like that at all, not even close. You had to, in fact, if you were to take the husband, God, I can, Irene and Claire's husband out of the equation, there really wasn't any confrontation in the film to speak of, I can think, unless I'm forgetting something. And if there was any confrontation, it was between Irene and her husband. You know, they had more confrontations and different points of view on how they should raise their sons. And I like that it wasn't what I expected. And I honestly, I thought it was going to veer off. I thought it was going to veer off into sort of Irene and Claire realizing their love for each other. At one point I said, okay, that's where this is going.
Yes.
You know, because they
There's-
definitely had sort of intimacy at times, like just the way they would touch, like
That's definitely a take on the book. Um, it's not explicit by any means. The idea is that she couldn't really tell you what they were up to when she wrote that book.
okay. So
But
it's
we could all
implied that
tell
may
what
have
they
been.
were up to. I'll be honest, I'm always looking for that, and I didn't see it. So,
Yeah.
but you're right. In the movie, you think the same thing. Now, part of it, I don't know if this is worse, but all the people that watch with me, whatever they thought of the movie, they think Tessa Thompson and Ruth Negga are both gorgeous, and so I think that affects us a little bit. In that you think, if I was with that person, I'd fall in love with them right then, because look at them, you know, and because they're movie stars, basically. In the book, you have to imagine what they're like, and that doesn't have that same kind of effect. Anyway, yes, it's certainly an interpretation that they're not a couple, but they have an attraction to each other.
Okay.
Unspoken.
And the two men are very interesting. You've got her husband, who I wonder every time that when I check something on a tab, if it shows up in the Zoom. I guess it doesn't matter. So her husband, I knew I recognized him, Andre Holland, who is from the Barry Jenkins film, Moonstruck, right? Moonlight.
Yeah. And the Nick from TV.
Who is he on TV?
The Nick, the Soderbergh series.
Oh, okay. That I don't know. And I was going to say that in Moonlight, he is not the main character. He's the one who he kind of hooks up with at the end, right? That owns the diner, or is it works in a restaurant?
Yeah,
correct?
It's been a while, but yeah.
Okay. And the other one that was interesting, and I don't know if he's based, he's probably a composite. The actor's name is Bill Camp. I've seen him in various.
Hey, I love Bill Camp.
Yeah, I saw him in a thing. Man, he was the detective in this John Turturro series.
Yeah, the series of the David Simon Show.
Yeah, 8 parts. And he was good in that. I've seen him elsewhere.
Yes.
He plays sort of, I guess, a certain kind of white intellectual from the 20s, New Yorker type writer, who spends a lot of time in Harlem, and is apparently best friends with the African American characters, but clearly I guess there's just some kind of distance there. I mean, she says to the husband, well, you love, what's the character's name? You love Hugh. And he says, I do. But there's got to be some built-in suspicion. Well, why these white writers are going into Harlem to do what? Are they like observing and they want to feel part of that or whatever?
In this particular case, I felt the book was explicit is the wrong word, but more clear that the character is gay, and so that in his own way he's passing. He's also passing. There's a conversation that he and Irene have, I think, when they're at the opera, and they have the, it's like, well, aren't we all passing in one way or another?
Yes, she says that in the film.
And he knows what she means because he passes as straight. Beyond that, when I see Bill Kemp, I'm always happy.
Yeah, he's good. What
He's
else?
up a lot of stuff. Those character actors is great because if you like them, you're going to see them every 2 weeks because they're in everything. He was in what's the chess one with Anya Taylor-Joy, the TV show.
Okay, I'm just looking him up now because the Queen's Gambit, yeah.
Yeah, he was the janitor guy who taught her chess.
That's the other thing, Joker. He was in Joker. He was
you're right.
detective.
You're right.
He was in, like we just said, he was in, he was in Molly's Game. I saw him in Molly's Game. He was in The Leftovers. He was that guy wandering. Remember that character in The Leftovers when they went on the ship? I think he was. He's listed in 3 episodes of The Leftovers. Oh, he was the guy in The Bridge. Man, The Bridge. Yeah, he turned up as 3 different characters, but it was kind of the same character. Killing of a Sacred Deer. I saw that. And The Night. That was the name of the Mammoth series. Did you say?
Yes.
Yeah, The Night. So yeah, you're right. He's everywhere. He is very good. What else is noteworthy about the film? Like I say, I liked it. I thought it was well made. Oh, I guess that one of the noteworthy things, and this links the 2 films together. We've got 2 films which are immersed. I mean, it's all African-American characters immersed in issues of blackness. One is directed by a white Jewish male, and the other one is directed by a white British female. Passing is directed, I don't know her work, Rebecca Hall. I think it's her first film, and she's white and British.
Yes.
And I guess that's a big topic these days, the whole idea of who tells whose stories.
Okay. In her case, first of all, I love mentioning that the last time I'd seen her was in Godzilla vs. Kong or Kong vs. Godzilla. I forget which order it was, but yes, as an actor, she's been in a lot of different things.
Okay, I didn't even realize she was an actor.
That was most recent. Also, the story meant a lot to her because she discovered, I think, during the making of the movie, she herself is biracial. You look at pictures of her dad. First of all, her dad was Peter Hall, who started the Shakespeare Company in England, I think.
Okay.
And her mom was an opera singer. And apparently it wasn't a case of, somebody can watch this, correct me if I'm wrong. It wasn't a case of passing. Her mom really wasn't aware that she had African blood in her family. So in the process of all this, Rebecca Hall finds out that she has passed for white because she didn't know any different, but that in fact she too was biracial. So
that's interesting. Yeah.
But again, that doesn't necessarily show up on the screen, but it's a good backstory as far as that went.
Yeah.
I think Tessa Thompson might also be biracial, but I'm not sure. I thought for a bit, I thought how this movie, which is very American to me and based on a classic American novel, and everybody was British, but in fact, Tessa Thompson's from LA, so I guessed wrong on that one at least. Something about her makes me think she's English. Since I'm doing it more for the effect of keeping the brightness down, but both movies that we're talking about now are in black and white.
Oh, that's what I was just going to mention. The other thing links them. Yeah.
And I think they both have different reasons for being that way. In the case of Passing, which we're talking about now, it's also shot in Academy ratio 4:3, so that you got your squarish screen, and it looks like a movie from the 20s because it's black and white and doesn't have a wide screen. I think it works well in that context. I think it makes sense that's like that. And of course, it's both films are beautifully shot.
I was going to say they both look really good. I mean,
Yes.
There's some beautiful lighting. Black and white is so good. Obviously, I'm not saying anything new there, but for a lighting actor, that's
funny because we noticed in both those cases, at least movies are black and white, but it's such a standard now. Nobody makes black and white movies anymore. So we question when one is made in black and white, and hey, why not make that choice once in a while? You may not get the biggest box office. Who knows?
And at the crudest, most obvious level, I mean, to the film Passing, to shoot it in black and white, I mean, black and white is kind of the issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, like I say, I think it's definitely, when the award season comes up, I can imagine lots of attention. Best actress, best supporting actress, best film, probably best director, maybe best adapted screenplay, cinematography. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I don't know what, I don't pay that close attention to Academy Awards. Kind of film that strikes me, it could be the film that's nominated more than any other film, because it's the kind of film, right, that the Academy Awards love. It's very socially conscious. It's very in the moment, addressing things that are talked about all the time now.
Mhm.
And it's well made, and it's short, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's got wide availability because of streaming. So it's going to do very, very well come awards. Will I ever watch it again? Probably I'll watch it. It's the kind of film I might want to go back to once more, because it does have subtlety, and I want to be totally alert, and I'm sure I miss little nuances about it. It's well made, but I was checking my watch.
Yeah, I liked it better in the afterthought because when we had our previous Zoom chat, the movie was picked by my sister, who was a long-time English professor, just retired, and she had taught the book more than once, and looked forward to the movie because she loved the book. Thought just tossed it out for the whole family to talk about. She wasn't very happy with the movie because she didn't feel it did as well as the book. The other people in my family had never read the book, so they weren't coming at it from that perspective, but they weren't particularly happy either. And as it was weird when we were talking about it, I kind of agreed with everybody, but I was getting like pissed off because, look, you guys, why are you all complaining? This movie wasn't that bad. So then when I thought about it, I got myself alone. I started thinking more of the good things about it. I wasn't influenced anymore by the crowd of naysayers. And I found that while it wasn't a great movie, I found more positives than I thought about. So yeah, I think, again, like you said, it might be something to watch again sometimes. I did go back and watch the ending again just to see what happens when she goes out the window.
Yeah.
I wanted a sense of that. And guess what? I couldn't tell.
The guy that plays the husband, it's probably an easy role, playing somebody that
Skarsgård?
Skarsgård, which
Yeah.
there's more than one Skarsgård, isn't there?
Alexander.
Alexander, yeah. I thought at first he was the guy from the Handmaid's Tale, but that's a totally different guy. That's Joseph Fiennes. Joseph
Fiennes. Yeah.
So he's very good in his couple of scenes. He gets to be villainous. I guess it's a little bit of a surprise that a piece of writing could go like that seems to be widely admired and maybe not all that widely read, but could go that long without being adapted. That's almost 100 years. And somebody finally takes it up.
Yeah, because it's not difficult.
No.
It's not the only book from the 20s that only gets read in English classes. But of those, it's not so difficult that you couldn't make a movie of it. If you're going to make a movie of a Juna Barnes book, who would know how? But it's pretty straightforward. It may be ambiguous, but it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, I'm surprised too that it took this long to make it.
The last thing I'll say is that the actress that plays Irene, I think you mentioned her name, Tessa Thompson, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's I read a little bit about her background. Father Afro-Panamanian ancestry, and her mother's Mexican, so she's a mixed parentage. What do you know? She was in Creed, Dear. Okay, I don't think I ever saw. No, I never saw Dear White People. So I don't know if I'd ever seen her before. I'm just looking at her credits now. I think she was completely new to me. Maybe she had a bit part. No, I'm not seeing anything I've ever seen. She's good.